everyone, it's Zariya. How are you? I'm just coming out of this is the final week of our the program Overcome Emotional Abuse, and we're just finishing up. And it's just been incredible um, to be with these beautiful people on their journey into themselves. And I just know that there's a whole bunch of new people in Home for Restoring Love. And I wanted to connect with you and say hi and introduce myself so you know who I am and why I started this. And then I've got an announcement to make. So I'm excited to share with you. If you want to comment and ask me any questions, please leave them in the comments. So I started this because I kept finding that wherever I went, it was really hard for people who were neurotypical, people who'd had normal childhoods, securely attached childhoods, to really understand how it was for me, not having any contact with my family. I felt so judged in sort of normal, typical reality, where people just didn't get how it was to grow up in adversity, abuse, bullying, and I felt so alone. And I remember at one point where I was 10 years old and there had been um, physical abuse. And I was alone with my mum. And I asked her to take me to an orphanage. And she said to me it was far worse in the orphanage. I'm not going to go into details of what the abuse was. Needless to say, just because I don't want to trigger anybody, but it was so bad that I lost my sense of smell for over 20 years because my head had been hit so badly, or actually kicked. Um, and after that, where I was seeing stars and I just didn't want to live in an environment like that anymore. And I said to my mum, "Can you take me to an orphanage?" And she said, "It's much worse there." And I just burst into tears because I felt this sense of, well, it's worse for people. I don't want anybody in the world to feel like that. And I wanted to become an actress so that I could reach out to people, like win an Oscar and tell people, if you have grown up where you feel unloved and you don't want to be, know that it's not your fault. You didn't deserve it. You didn't do anything wrong. Um, my mother didn't want me to become an actress. She said I should become a doctor or a lawyer, and we compromised on a therapist. So that's why I'm here. Um, but it caused this sense inside of me that I just want to devote my whole life to touching the lives of those who have had a range of abuse. And the struggle is that often people just see whatever abuse people have had, they always say it wasn't that bad. It was my fault, or I deserved it. And I need you to know that that's the impact of abuse. And in the next couple of days, I'll share a bit more about that with you. But so many people come to me and say, you know, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't, and then they might tell me horrific things that happened, or they might tell me things that were emotional abuse that left people feeling like they were invisible, or they were treated like they didn't matter, or rejected, or a sister was preferenced where they were rejected. People who have had, on the other side, where they've had physical abuse or sexual abuse, they go, but I wasn't raped, so it wasn't that bad. And that it wasn't that bad is often an indication to me of how bad it was, that it made you feel so awful about yourself. And when I was sharing with people about my experience, I could just see them glazing over and not being interested or not knowing how to respond. And so I wanted to create a community and a body of work that helps people to respond to themselves with empathy and care, and respond to others with empathy and validation and care. And so I started Home for Restoring Love, I think in November 2016, which is my free group for people who have had any sort of adversity, toxic parents, or anything like that. And I created it so that we could create this community um, where everybody is met with empathy and care, where you're not told what to do, because so many of us have, like I just said, I was controlled of told you can't become an actress, you have to do this. We don't want to, hi Janet, so lovely to see you. We don't want to be told who we should be or how we should be. We want to live our own lives, but simply sharing stories from other people, we learn, we come to discover who we are and the actions that we want to take. So, in hearing other people's stories, we grow in that. And I've just been looking into research of how that sharing, that creative expression, actually heals us. It lowers depression, it lowers anxiety, it helps you to live longer, and it reduces the symptoms of whatever you're experiencing. So I know that this is just beautiful in, the Home for Restoring Love and what I offer in the free group. But I wanted to do deeper work to really make a difference in healing. And so I created the Overcome Emotional Abuse program. And it's going to start again in July. But I wanted to offer people who want to join at this last program's prices, because I need to put it up because it's just me and I'm a single mom working to be able to serve people, and I don't have enough money to be able to pay staff. At the moment, I'm going overdrawn to pay staff, and that's just not sustainable. So in order to serve people more, so that I have the money to pay for staff, I need to increase the price um, of the program. And so, but I didn't want to do that and then everybody gets a fright. I wanted to share with you now so that you're able to invest in it if you'd like to. So, for those of you who want to sign up to that, there's the link. Oh, no, not that. Let me start again. I'll edit that. That is the link. So you can come and join us. And we would love to have you at the spring rate. And it starts in July. So we've got a bit of time. At the moment, my kids are in exams. So once their exams are over, then I can start thinking about that next program as I end this one. And in that program, it's all about being able to overcome the abuse that you have had in childhood, whatever that might be, from sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. And I share that it's emotional abuse because every single person who has had physical or sexual abuse, the reason that they have not overcome whatever happened to them is often because it's compacted by emotional abuse on top of that. And the emotional abuse looks like denial, gaslighting, invalidating, like, oh, you think that was bad. Well, this happened to me. Or centering of other people rather than actually connecting with the person who's sharing. When we have a loving witness, um, noticing, validating, empathizing with what we've experienced, then it heals what has happened. But so many of us, because we didn't have that in childhood, we don't know how to give that to ourselves. So the Overcome Emotional Abuse program is going to happen in June. And in the next 3 days, I'm going to tell you about it because I'm just opening this offer until Sunday night Pacific time. So I'll share about that and I'll put a little link below where you can read more about it. Through this whole journey of healing myself from physical, sexual, and emotional abuse, I did talk therapy when I was 18. And I did other types of therapy. I trained in psychodrama. I trained in attachment therapy. I've trained in brain spotting. I've done EMDR on myself. I've done IFS, internal family systems therapy on myself. And I've taken all the things that have really made a difference for me and put them together in this program. And my mission is that I will get to touch the lives of over 2 million people to help them heal from abuse. Um, and when I think of that, I get really excited. And it's going to take me a while to be able to do, because that's a lot of people and it's a lot of work to do, but I know that I can't do it on my own. So I'm going to have to hire staff. So it's an opportunity for those of you who've been wanting to join now so that you can get it at a reduced rate, because otherwise it will go up in July. But the mission for me is taking on, because when I did talk therapy, it helped me to understand rationally what had happened. Like finally I could go, ah, this is what um, this is what actually, like, why I feel like this. But it didn't teach me the skills on how to get better, and it didn't heal the stuff in the trauma brain itself. And so I've wanted to do skills and practices that help people in an embodied way that talk therapy doesn't always do. Because I could sit there and talk to my therapist about what my father did, what my mother did, what my brother did, what happened to me, but it didn't heal the fabric of my brain, of the trauma inside of me. And I needed other things that help in a subcortical way, that take you into your amygdala, take you into your hippocampus and your brainstem, where all that stuff is programmed as a tiny baby, where I'm nonverbal. Like I remember working with this lady who came to the session and she could only go me, 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 me. And I was like, oh, wow. You've gone into like a non-verbal or pre-verbal state. Let's look at this in an embodied way. And as we could journey into that, we went into, through meditation and brain spotting, we went into a place where she was abandoned as a little baby, and that's what had been triggered that week, and she just lost the capacity to speak. And just normal talk therapy wouldn't have been able to access that because she didn't have her words. And so I've wanted to help people to go beyond talk therapy into the skills to love, to secure love, that have helped me to be able to create an amazing relationship with my kids and with myself, so that I am able to run this, to be able to serve other people. And I want that for you. So if you have any questions, I am so happy to answer you. You're welcome to comment here, or you can message me privately if you're thinking, oh, I'm curious about this and I would love to see if it's for me. Just looking at what people have got out of it in this last program. Somebody has shared that she has stopped picking her nails and biting her nails, because um, she now understands how to deal with her anxiety. She didn't even know that she had anxiety before, because we're not taught what anxiety even feels like in our body. So she wasn't aware of that. She said for the first time in her life, she's now not biting her nails, because she understands how to respond to herself and deal with herself. It's just been incredible to see. There was somebody who came with the intention of understanding why she felt ugly in herself, and she got to see how her mother had imposed her own insecurities on her, and those were not the reality. That was not the truth. The truth is that she was beautiful, and that was her mother's issue, not hers, and she wasn't going to carry it any longer. Somebody shared that they learned to stop self-hate and stop being self-destructive, and learned how to empathize and self-love. You can see that these people each gain completely different things, because every single one of you is an individual. And everybody is at a different place in their healing. So some people are at the start of their healing, just realizing that the abuse wasn't their fault, and now they need to discern who is healthy and not in relationship, so that they are not treated like that. Somebody shared that they now realize it's okay to be vulnerable, but Before, they'd put themselves into situations where they'd been vulnerable and they had been violated. So now they know, I need to be vulnerable, but with the right people. Another lady left her toxic, racist work environment and started a new job where she is seen for her value. Somebody else stood up for her, herself and her whole team, and got a raise for all of them, and found her voice to share her value and the value of her whole team. Somebody shifted from shouting at her child to empathizing with her child before she felt her child was behaving in a way to get at her. And through the program, she learned that her child just didn't have the skills to be dealing with what she dealt with, and that she could teach her kid the skills to respond and process her emotions in a healthy way. And that's changed their relationship to where she now has empathy and love for her child rather than just always wanting to run away. Obviously, she's a mum, and those feelings of wanting to run away and stress still happen. But it's just been utterly incredible to witness the shifts in people, and I would love that for you. So if you are wanting to come and join us, now is perfect time because the price is going to go up in July, and I'd love to have you there. If anybody's got any comments, I can't see who's here, but let me know. If you've got any questions, send me a message because I would love to answer you and love to have you with us. You know, there have been a lot of people in the program who shared that they held back from joining because they were scared of various things. Like one lady said she was scared that it might be really cliquey and she wouldn't be welcome. And she found that it was such a loving, supportive, beautiful, safe space. And she just found that she was met and loved and cherished. And so if you have got any concerns or any questions about the Overcome Emotional Abuse program, send me a message and I will respond to you. You can send it to either the public page, Restoring Love, or to my page, Zariya Lufu. And I will connect with you and answer your questions about it so that you can decide whether the program is for you or not. I'm sending you love, and I hope that you'll come and join us. There are 3 days that I'm opening this offer for, just until Sunday, midnight at Pacific time. And I would love to have you with us. All right, I'm sending you love. The link is there, restoring.love. If you click on that, you'll be able to read about the program and see if it's for you. All right, sending love.